Now, even though it's not required to use the quotes when we're inserting an integer type, you can use quotes and it will still work just fine. And the other cool thing about that is if for some reason it didn't exist, it'd be very rare that time wouldn't work, but if for somehow date was empty and you tried to put just like if date was empty, this is what it would look like. You'd have an extra comma and then nothing. Because if date held, let me actually put that so you can see. So date holds whatever that time function returned. If it held nothing, then this would be a SQL syntax error because you had a comment but then didn't specify anything. If we go ahead and throw date inside of single quotes, that won't affect adding an integer. It'll still work just fine. Also, if date was somehow not set or empty, it would still work okay. It would try to put an empty string in, but it would be converted to an integer and would be a 0. So it wouldn't be the correct data, but at least your script wouldn't completely break. So now we've got the query set up for actually adding this data. Now we need to actually run the actual query and feed it this query variable. So we'll do a MySQL query, and we'll give it $query, and also reference to $connection, the connection that we established when the script first ran. So we'll go ahead and save that data to the database, or die, and give a reason for dying. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and put the output of the MySQL error function, just in case it doesn't work. It'll give very verbose output and be very easy to track down. So with that should actually be enough to actually use this form to put stuff in that table. Of course, we'll have to use the MySQL monitor to see it, but let's go ahead and save the script and try it out. So let's go back. Let me refresh once to make sure I'm working on the latest version. Now, name, let's say Jayhawk, email the jayhawk@hotmail.com, and comment hello. So let's see if this works. Submit. All fields were cleared. So let's go back to the MySQL monitor real quick and do select star from guest book. And look at that. We've got that record. Auto ID 1, the name we put in, the email, the comment, and there's the timestamp I was talking about. Basically, the today's current date in seconds.
Now let's see if we can make this a little bit more interesting. I'm at another computer over here, and I can get over to your local host. So basically, I'll just submit something. Now, if you just hit the up arrow and enter.
Oh, look at that.
Check that out. True magic, baby.
And of course, the timestamp incremented by a few more seconds.
Absolutely.
All right, so now let's go and actually use PHP to load this record up and have it generate some more HTML to show these records. So back to the code. Now what we need to do, so we'll always leave the form visible. We'll just go below that form and start actually creating. This time I'm actually going to use an HTML table, and this is going to be kind of interesting because we're going to be using a table to display the results, but most of the table is going to be written by PHP. You'll see in just a second. Now back to more typing.
That sounds great. So I hope everybody out there is enjoying what we're doing, and good old Logan's over there working so hard to get this stuff typed in fast for you, and I'm just now yakking so that I'm keeping you company for a minute, so that you're not too bored. Hope everybody's enjoying what we're trying to do with 3D Buzz, and the videos that we've got in the works. Some really cool things coming. As far as PHP and MySQL is concerned, we've got some really neat things planned into the future. And we're going to be doing some graphic stuff with it. We're going to be doing banner rotation code. I mean, we've got all sorts of things planned that will really help you, inspiring web developers out there, add some very nice scripts into your site.
Okay, so now we've got the outline of a table here. Normally you'd add a tr, TD, and then to specify your rows and cells and so on. But this is the part, this table is what's actually going to hold the results of the MySQL query we're going to run. And this is the part that's going to be written by PHP. So first, as soon as we're inside this table, we need to actually have PHP go ahead and load out those records so it knows what it's going to be writing. So I'm going to open up another PHP tag and tab on over, And you saw before when I ran this query, I didn't do $result equals the query. That's because I don't need to know what's in it. It's not going to be returning anything back out. Here we're actually getting data, so I need to go ahead and say $result equals, and then run the query. And yes, I'll be typing out the query variable in just a second. So query $connection. So
connection. There we go.
So, alright, the query we're going to be running is, we need to do something very similar that we did when we ran the select star from guestbook, except that we're going to make sure we order by the date autos, make sure we always pull records out in order. So it'll be almost the same, just add a little bit more. So select star order by, and then what field do we want to order by? The date. So same as before, select star from guestbook. Then order by the date auto. So start at the earliest date and pull the records out in that order. So now we've run the query, and we need to enter a loop because we have an unknown amount of records, and we want to make sure we hit each record and then basically make a table row for every record. So I'll start a for, open closing parenthesis, for $I equals 0, so I'm starting at 0, which is convenient because we'll be matching index 0 that the MySQL query will return. So, and then we'll keep running until, we'll keep running as long as $I is less than MySQL num row. Alright, MySQL num rows. You specify a result from a query you've run, and this simply holds or will return the number of rows that this query returned. So we want to make sure we run as many rows as we return from the database.
And basically, for those of you guys that aren't up to speed on databases, when he talks about rows, he's talking about number of records.
Yeah, the individual records, number of individual records. Okay, so and then finally, $I plus plus. So increment it every time this loop runs. So we'll open curly brace, close curly brace. So inside here we'll execute code for every record that we have in the database. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and actually get some of that data back out and put into some easy to use variables. So $name equals MySQL result, and again result takes in $result, so we're getting the results from this MySQL query that we ran. Now, before, when we got the record for the counter, we just assumed that it was going to be record 0 because that was the only record that we had in it. We never added more. In this case, we have an unknown number of records, and with this for statement, we're looping through each one. And so each time we run through this, I is going to be incremented. So I will be 0, then I will be 1, and that's what we're going to refer to which record we're going to be pulling out of the database. So we're going to put $I, this specifying what row or what record we're looking at, or that we're currently looking at. And then finally, the name of the field that we're going to be returning. So we'll grab the name, like, let's see. So yeah, we'll grab, let me grab the monitor so you can see this. So here we have the records. Now, this $I won't always equal auto ID. It's just going through and saying that this is record 0, this is record 1, and that's how this loop is going to run. It's going to run first time through. It hits $result, so this query, record 0, which would be the first one, and the name, this field. And then continue doing that for the next record and so on. So we load the name in and do the same thing for email and comments. And actually date. So let's copy that line 4 times. So we'll return the email out from the email field. Grab the comment field. And of course, the date field. Alright, so we've got our data loaded. Now we need to actually start doing something with that data. So next we go and let's see. I'll actually add this part in just a second once you see what's going on. We're going to make in the end it'll be a table, and each cell will have alternating colors. I'll add that feature in just a second. First I'll actually get the table to show. So we'll start an echo. And I'll start a single quote.